So, hello guys, good day. My name is Miko Abranica. I'm going to report now the material self. These are the objectives. So, at the end of this report, listeners will hopefully be able to describe the material self, identify the bodily self, and identify the extracorporeal or the extended self. I need you guys to reflect to this question. Who am I? I know you have different perceptions, different answer to this question, but if your answer has something to do with what you have, as in what you have with your body, what possessions you have, what ambitions you will pursue in the future, then that means you already feel about your material self. Material self. So the proponent of the material self is William James. He said that material self refers to tangible objects or places that carry the designation my or mine. So William James is saying that anything that we can call mine is part of the material self. William James identified the body as the innermost aspect of the material self. William James further classified the two subclasses of the material self, the bodily self and the extracorporeal self. Bodily self. So, the bodily self is characterized by pre-reflective bodily self-consciousness. So bodily self basically it's your body. It's your head, your shoulders, your arms, your knees, your toes. So example of bodily self is my head hurts, my arms feels heavy. So those are the examples of bodily self. Those entities are clearly an intimate part of who we are. Next, extracorporeal self, or other psychologists call it the extended self. So the extracorporeal self is the extended self, which includes all the people, places, and things that are psychology part of who we are. Greater emphasis placed on extracorporeal self, or the self beyond the body. Example of extracorporeal self or the extended self is you have a dog that you really love, and then that dog accidentally died, and you feel down about what happened. So that dog is part of your extended self. You can determine if it is part of your extracorporeal self or the extended self if you have an emotional investment in the entity. If we respond in an emotional way when the entity is praised or attacked. Another way to determine whether something is part of the extracorporeal self or the extended self is to see how we act towards it.
Hello everyone, good day. I am Karen Alisna and today we talk about economic self-presentation and identity. Learning objectives. You will know what economic studies about. You will be able to identify the person on where it is belongs, and you will know the determinants of economics of self-sufficiency. Economic defined as the study of the things that a person is lacking, how people make use of the things that they have, and of making the right decisions, the condition of the people or group or region as regards to material prosperity. Economic self-sufficiency, the ability of individuals and families to consistently meet their needs with minimal or no financial assistance or subsidies from private or public organization. The said needs includes the foods, housing, utilities, healthcare, transportation, taxes, dependent care of clothes. Next is determinants of economic self-sufficiency. Determinants of economic self-sufficiency. First is job stability. Job stability is the individual have sustained employment. Educational attainment. Individuals reach their employment goal through academic or vocational achievement. English literacy. Individuals have the ability to speak, read, and write the English language. Family structure. The, the stability of family and attribution of parents influence development of positive behavior and healthy relationship. Health or disability status. Individuals with physical, cognitive, mental, sensor, emotional, or development capacity concerns participate to the fullest extent possible at school, at work, or through meaningful daily activities. Lastly, the community connections. Individuals have community relationship to people or organizations that bolster self-sufficiency or, in the case of youth, future sufficiency. Next is a psychological phenomenon that results from social categories, definition and differentiation. For instance, a category of economic status is whether a person belongs to the rich, sustainable, or poor sectors of society. The structure of economy identify includes basic components, cognitive, affective, and behavioral. The factors that affect the community identity are the professional development, self-determination, motivational, and values pair of his personality.
So, good morning, classmates. My name is Michael Florence Ardua, and the topic that is given to me is the material objects in self-description and self-perception. So, before we continue to our topic, we need to learn what is material objects in self-description and self-perception. So, material object. In plain language, philosophy considers a material object as something which consists of matter, rather than anything which exists only in the mind. So this simply means that material object is something that we can touch, for example, cell phone, tables, chairs, and etc. Next is the self-description. So self-description is the way in which you describe or talk about yourself to the world. It is when you describe yourself to others as fun and creative. This is an example of your self-description. So next is the self-perception. So, self-perception is a person's view in his or herself or of any of the mental or physical attributes that constitute the self. Such a, such a view may involve genuine self-knowledge or varying degrees of distortion, also called self-percept. So, how do material objects affect our self-description and self-perception? So, more than just mere tools, luxuries, or junks, our material objects that or the material objects that we possess became an extension of ourselves. We use them to signal to ourselves and others, or on who we want to be or where we belong. And long after we die, or long after we're gone, they become our legacy. So, example of how the material objects affect our self-description and self-perception is when you like socializing with others, going out with your friends, uh, playing outdoor games. But when you bought your personal computer, uh, you your attitude changes. You don't like to hang out with your friends anymore. You don't socialize or play outdoor games because you're busy playing your computer. So that's all. Thank you.
So good day everyone, my name is Charles Kent B. Calao, and in today's video, we will be talking about money in self-description and self-perception. But before we begin, here is the objective for the day. So, to be able to describe the self and see the self with regards to money. For many people these days, especially the younger generation, happiness has been attached to buying something. Consumption has also become an addiction to the point that they disregard the wholesome things in life. These include spending time with your family, your friends, yourself, doing things or hobbies that bring value to you, and the likes. Going back, money is said to be the culprit for addiction to things like buying something and consumption. Money enables us to do all these things. Mach 1993 argued that the identity of an individual is a symbolic idea. It is an identity that we build for ourselves over time through social interaction. In line with this, economic self is concerned with the status of a person in life. Moreover, this talks about whether an individual belongs to the rich, sustainable, or poor society. With this, it could be said that money has the ability to influence self-description and perception. Money is one of those external factors that we as individuals are attached to in order to feel a sense of validity within a group or a society. Money interacts with our self-esteem in many ways. We have poverty and low self-esteem, then we also have its opposite, wealth and high self-esteem. Lastly, comparison of financial situation to others. So, let's first talk about poverty and low self-esteem. People living in poverty often experience low self-esteem for a number of reasons. Since they are unable to attain basic needs like food and other essentials, they tend to feel like failures. They would internalize stereotypes like they are so unmotivated, they have no goals in life, and all other flaws in order to validate why they are poor. Secondly, we have wealth and high self-esteem. The relationship that wealth and high self-esteem has can be seen in many different angles. In one occasion, an individual would be basing his self-worth or value with regards to how much money he or she has. This can also extend to two different circumstances. For example, a wealthy person may tend to be arrogant and see less of things or people which are not in his or her level. On the other hand, a wealthy person can also be generous, donating to charity and helping those in need. These are two different identities stemming from the idea of being wealthy. Lastly, we have comparison of financial situation to others. In life, there will always be times of comparison and envy among your peers or other individuals. This also contributes to your self-description in many ways. There may be times when we would be blinded by competition since we are always comparing what we have with other people. We would not realize our true potential as individuals since we are solely focused on surpassing the other person. With this, we are building our lives around the idea that we must work high-paying jobs even if it's not aligned to who we really are. Furthermore, this changes the authentic self that you have deep inside. It would affect your whole life as well as your relationship with other people. In conclusion, it could be said that money has the ability to influence the identity of an individual in many ways. If we use money as a measure to your success, image, and happiness, you would easily have a corrupted mindset. Money is only one aspect of life. Talking about life, it is more than what meets the eye. Focus on the things that matter, and life would be fulfilling. So that is all for my report. I hope that you have learned something, and thank you for listening. God bless.
Hello everyone, hello sir. My name is Charles Angelo Giaganan and I am here to present implication of possession or lack of them for self-esteem and the feeling of well-being. So my objectives here is materialism in its domain in relation to well-being and how does self-esteem affect well-being. So introduction. So in our life possession, our major contributor to and reflection to our identities is because we control things, just like possession. Because the implication of possession that we tackle is in our life is the concept of our developing in ourselves, and the implication are derived for consumer behavior. Next is materialism and its domain in relation to well-being. So, materialism, it is the one of the most attached to us human, which occupy a material or a central place rather in our lives. So, and expected that this is the greatest source of our satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Example, materialistic people are less happy than their peers because of their fewer positive emotion and too much expectation in our life or society. They suffer anxiety and depression. And next, the last is how does self affect well-being. So when we have self-esteem, we tend to feel positive about ourselves and about in life in general. It makes us better able to deal with life ups and downs. When our self-esteem is low, we tend to see ourselves and our life in a more negative and critical light. So it will affect to us in a good or bad way. Good because when we have a positive vibes or energy, self-esteem, we will make us boost that our well-being better to the life ups and downs. And bad because we can't deny our self-esteem will low and sometimes people making fun of us. We can't deny the fact that our self will tend to see negativity and our well-being will be distracted. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, sir. My name is Jimmer Jimena, and today I will go on to report the implication of money or lack of them for self-esteem and feeling of well-being. Implication of money is that the impact of wealth and inequality on human behavior have found that money can powerfully influence our thoughts and actions in ways that we're often not aware of. Lack of self-esteem or a low self-esteem can reduce the quality of a person's life in many different ways, including negative feelings. The constant self-criticism can lead to persistent feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety, anger, shame, or guilt. Implication of money or lack of self-esteem. Money is one of those external factors that many of us latch onto for our sense of validation, and money can interact with our self-esteem in a variety of ways. People living in poverty often experience low self-esteem. Being unable to afford food and other essentials can make people feel that they are failures. Someone with low self-esteem has negative feelings about themselves, believing that they are not worthy of love, happiness, or success. With research linking low self-esteem to mental health issues and poor quality of life, this is potentially dangerous way to live. For example, John won a lotto ticket worth 17 million, and the first thing he do after claiming his money, he helped poor people financially. In addition, John won a lotto ticket and he don't know how to spend his money in the right way. So, he decided to help those people in need, especially those who experience poverty. Because according to John, helping people can make him happy. And that's all of my report, sir. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Thank you.